I, 32 male, have two sons, Jamie preteen male and Jaden tween male. Their mother and I were high school sweethearts who had the boys before we finished college. We had planned to get married, but then I found out my ex was cheating on me and I broke up with her. Jaden was a toddler at the time. We split custody and I paid child support for the first 18 months post-breakup until my ex was earning similarly to me, which meant child support ceased. Costs were simply split, with nobody giving anyone extra. My ex had another son 2 years after we broke up. The father was not in the picture. She told me he was the guy she cheated on me with, and that she realized he was a terrible person, etc. She asked if I would consider adopting her son and raising him as my own alongside our boys. I told her I wasn't going to do that. We argued about this for so long that she had time to get into another relationship and move this man in. So I told her that he should be a father figure to her son, since they plan on building a life together. Within a year, that guy was gone, and she had a daughter he fathered. I continued being a dad to my sons only. I didn't interact with her other two children, but I would see them from a distance during exchanges. She asked me to adopt both her additional children, stating they needed a father. I told her to go and find their fathers then. She eased up when she met her husband. I thought maybe it was finally the ends of her trying to make me responsible for her other children. She has a child with her husband now too, so there are 5 in total in her household when our boys are included. But it hasn't lasted. My ex has admitted her husband isn't involved in the lives of her other children, and they're still missing out on having a father. So she asked me to include her other 3 children, including the child she has with her husband, and days out I have with my sons. She said that especially during the summer and around Christmas, when I take them and do fun holiday-themed activities, it's not something she can give her other children. She wants them to experience these things also. She finds out when I do these things with my boys because she quizzes them about their time with me, and each time she gets angry. But when the boys were with her 2 weeks ago, she got extra angry. She's mentioned to me that her son, the oldest of her other 3 kids, didn't get much for his birthday, and she wanted to make it up to him. That was meant to mean me. So when she heard our boys and I had visited an amusement park around his birthday, she blew a fuse and asked me how I could be such an idiot to children. She told me I should be doing better as a father. Am I the idiot? Edit. She's still married to one of her husbands, which is the craziest part to me. That is a special kind of crazy. You know what would have fixed all her problems? Not cheating on you. Yeah, all her children would have a dad. No one's playing favorites. No one's missing out on birthdays or holidays because you're a good father to your children. Amazingly, she has the absolute gall to ask you to take in her other kids. How do you even go about this? I know I cheated on you, but my darn brood of children don't have dads, so it'd be great if you just, adopted all of them. Heck no, you're not the idiot. She told me I should be doing better as a father. Excuse me? Time to be really mean to her. When she says, how can you be an idiot to kids? Ask her the same question. How can you be such an idiot to your own kids by choosing deadbeats for fathers, including marrying a man that doesn't treat your kids right? Our relationship is over, and I will not do anything to rectify your bad decisions, nor will I allow you to use your kids to manipulate me. This is also the last time I'm having this conversation with you. The answer is no for life. X has some audacity, doesn't she? I wonder if there's some chemical imbalance in her brain. She tried to baby trap 3 different men, and they all failed. She keeps returning to you because you're the only one responsible enough to be involved in your kids' lives. How much do you want to bet that she asked the other men to be a father to her previous kids? Your ex has made some really poor decisions. No need for you to pay for them, OP. I, 22 male, went to a theme park with my church's youth group yesterday. I'm one of the chaperones, and the kids are mostly teenagers, around young teen to teen years old. Mostly they're good kids, but they can be a bit rowdy, especially when they're in a big group. While we, 5 to 6 boys and me, were waiting in line for one of the rides, a woman who looked to be around my age, early 20s female, was standing in front of us. She was wearing a tank top and shorts, not even booty shorts or mid-thigh length. Nothing outrageous, just typical summer clothes you'd see in a mall clothing store. However, some of the boys in our group decided that she wasn't dressed modestly enough, as women in our church typically wear ankle-length skirts and sleeves to the elbow. They started clapping loudly in her ears, making comments about how she should cover up, and even going as far as lightly touching her arm and shoulder to get her attention. One even grabbed her hips. She was visibly uncomfortable but seemed too shocked or scared to say anything. I watched this go on for about a minute, expecting them to stop on their own, but they didn't. It was getting worse, and I felt awful for not stepping in sooner. Finally, I snapped and told them, "What the heck? Stop embarrassing her." I didn't yell, but I was firm and clear. They immediately looked shocked and embarrassed, and thankfully they did stop. Later, one of the other chaperones pulled me aside and told me I shouldn't have used that language in front of the kids, saying it was inappropriate and not setting a good example. He said I should have found a gentler way to correct them, and that I overreacted. He also reminded me that using swear words is sinful. I don't usually use language like that, especially around kids, but at the moment, I was more concerned with getting them to stop harassing this woman. Now I'm second-guessing myself. Maybe I could have handled it better, but I also feel like what they were doing was way out of line and needed to be shut down immediately. Am I the idiot for cussing at them? Clapping in her ears? Why didn't you stop it then? You didn't go far enough. Shame on those little kids. I'd have gathered everyone and left the park and explained that since they couldn't exhibit the most basic level of respect, they didn't deserve a fun day. And what the heck, that other chaperone? Those kids need a verbal slap in the face. It was totally appropriate. He wanted you to gently correct literal verbal and physical harassment? Oh, heck to the what the heck no. Sinful. Cussing is more sinful than the actual assault of a woman? Do not second guess yourself except for the ridiculously out-of-date church you belong to. Women have to be modest around men, otherwise they'll be harassed and assaulted? Join the 21st century, dude. There are plenty of gospel quotes where Jesus gives choice words to men who are intent on harassing women. I like the one where he tells the men to pluck out their eyes or cut off their hands if the sight of a woman bothers them. However, you are the idiot, but only because you didn't stop it sooner. I, 29 male, lost my fiance 4 years ago in a car accident. He and I were both 25 and had been together since we were 19. If soulmates are real, he was mine. He was stubborn. He preferred a way earlier bedtime than I did, and he was a major homebody, and I loved all of it. He would stay up with me until he was sure I fell asleep, and weekly movie theater outings planned by him became a thing about a month into our meeting. I am fundamentally a different person, both because I met him and because of my grief. I was shown what real love, effort, and care feel like. I also don't talk about him. I go to therapy once a week. Otherwise, it's silence on that topic for me. He lives on in me in ways I try to emulate him. I practice the patience he had that I always struggled to find. I go after career-related opportunities that scare me because I know he would encourage me to. Sometimes I let myself stay in bed because I know he'd be gentle with me and let me do that too. But I don't talk about him, and I probably never will. I'll make the occasional, "Oh, X would have loved this" comment when I'm with friends who knew him well. With strangers, nothing. My friends and family respect that as well. I'm engaged again. My fiance, 31 female, obviously knows I was engaged before. I told her. My last partner passed away and I don't talk about it. I don't use social media in any capacity anymore. Still, she happened to stumble upon an old Instagram profile of mine recently and saw him heavily featured. This led to her accusing me of purposefully keeping this from her. I don't really see why his gender matters, and I told her so. She said I've broken her trust. Times like these are when I long for the life I was living before, but grief messed up my brain, so I'm not sure if I'm being insensitive. Am I the idiot? Edit. She knew I was bi. The only thing she didn't know was that my fiance was a man. Based on how you describe your relationship with your ex and fail to say anything about your current fiance, I'm not certain you're ready to be married to her or anyone else right now. You still seem to be more in your past relationship than your current one. Perhaps some more counseling will help you move into a better place. This. He says his ex was his soulmate and even wishes to go back to that time and be with him. His poor fiance. If she knew that, she wouldn't marry him. She will never be able to compete with the ex's memory. LP isn't the idiot for committing his past, but he is the idiot for omitting it from his new life partner. Very gentle, you are the idiot, because I get why you wouldn't want to talk about something that awful. Still, you're about to get married again. And your fiance doesn't even know he was a man? To me, it wouldn't matter whether he was a he or a she. Still, I also don't know how comfortable I'd feel marrying someone who wasn't at least somewhat open with me about that part of their past. I'd have a little tiny voice always thinking, if he could so easily hide this huge thing about himself from me, what else is he capable of hiding? Mom and Dad divorced when my sister Sam and I were 13 and 10. That was 12 years ago. My father was a cheater and still is, onto his fourth marriage. Mom met her boyfriend, G, a year after the divorce, but she kept it a secret and didn't introduce him to us until 2 years later, until she was sure that he was the one. That was when I saw my mother the happiest in a relationship. She's always been a happy and bubbly person, but Sam hated G with all her might because she loved my father very much. And he was so heartbroken that Mom moved on, he even made an attempt on his own life. My sister never forgave my mom for it and threatened to cut contact if my mom didn't dump her boyfriend. My mom did. Afterward, my mom was very depressed and down, but my sister and Dad were happy. Then my sister left for college a few months later. I know for a fact that my mom started seeing her boyfriend again a year ago. She's been happy again. My sister got married last weekend. Yesterday, we had lunch before she and her husband were to leave for their honeymoon. When I arrived, she was a bit down. Apparently, she had asked Mom to join us, but Mom declined. So she opened up, saying that since Mom dumped her boyfriend, she's been very distant and cold with my sister. Never rude or mean, just cold. If she asked her anything or needed something, Mom would be there for her, like when my sister had a severe illness. But other than that, she never contacted my sister of her own volition. My sister told me that maybe Mom would never be happy again because of her ending her relationship. I told her not to worry about it, because they still see each other behind our backs, and that Mom seemed very happy. My sister was shocked, and she started yelling in the middle of the restaurant and tried to call Mom to ask her. Then she called me an idiot for never telling her before now. I just never thought it was a secret that I was hiding, just a private matter. And I thought my sister knew too, because how couldn't she realize that Mom has been happy again and has been going for weekend getaways? My sister's now demanding that Mom should break up with her boyfriend or she goes no contact. And I feel like the idiot for everything, including miscalculating that my sister still has the same stand. The cheating dad has 3 more marriages and it's all good. The mom finds a guy and is forever on the outs. Your sister's overreacting. Not everything is about her. P.S. You didn't ruin her honeymoon. You are the idiot for telling your sister that your mom is dating instead of calling her out on her crappy, hypocritical behavior, deeply hurting your mom. It's okay for dad to go through 4 marriages, but mom has to stay single the rest of her life? Your sister doesn't love her mother much, does she? I'd be distant and cold to the daughter who's okay with the cheating father, but not okay with mom moving on? Your mom should cut contact with your selfish sister. Sis should feel guilty for hurting your mom so deeply. Your sister is a manipulative narcissist in her attempt to weaponize going no contact to force your mom to split with someone who makes her happy. Don't you dare let her try to ruin your mom's life. Lesson learned. Don't share anything about your mom with her again. Let sister go no contact. She has a husband and a life of her own. Who is she to dictate? In fact, have mom make a deal with the sister. They can both leave their men. I'm the mother of young toddler identical twin girls. I've never liked the idea of dressing them identically because while they're twins, they aren't the same child. Whenever I'm given matching outfits, I mix and match them to make them look different or rotate who wears what. I've always felt it's important for them to be allowed their own sense of self and not have twin pushed on them as a major part of their identity. Family pictures are coming up soon for my great-grandmother's 80th birthday. We want to commemorate this with pictures, and my mother's booked professional photographs for this. The dress code is formal. I bought one daughter a sparkly purple dress. She's like a little magpie, anything sparkly, and she's all over it. I bought my other daughter a green dress with flowers on it, as she loves flowers. I plan to do one daughter's hair in pigtails, and the other will have a hairband. My mother called me and asked me to dress them alike, so they would look cute in the picture. I told her she knew how I felt about that and that we wouldn't be doing that. I told her I'd even bought the dresses already. She offered to buy them matching dresses, but I refused. She told me I was being ridiculous and it was only one picture and wouldn't kill them. When asked if she'd brought my brother's preteen daughters and 7 matching dresses, she said no. Why would she do that? which led me to asking her why my children should dress alike then. Of course, the answer was them being identical twins. This led to a rather heated conversation, and I told my mother that they were my daughters and it was my call. All she needs to be concerned about is them being presentable and matching the dress code. She told me I'm being selfish here, and it won't matter, pointing out how lots of twins like to dress alike. I told her that if they wished to dress alike one day, I'd not stop them, but till then, this is what I was doing. My brother since called me and asked me to just do it, that our mother's stressed out, and how I can change the girls out of it after the picture, and it's only one picture and it keep the peace. I know it's only a picture, but it just sits wrong with me. Is it really idiotic of me not to bend on this? Not the idiot. The kids are yours, and ultimately their clothing choices are yours. If your mom wants a photo shoot, she has to negotiate with you regarding how the kids are dressed. You've laid out your limits, and she can either agree or not have the photo of the kids done. Those are her options. I'm glad you're really not indulging the twin thing. There have been some really sad and troubling posts here about families that went too far on it. So it's not a big deal. It's only for one photo, so you should just go along with it. It is a big deal because mom is stressed, and therefore you should go against your choices as a parent. Got it. It's a good thing that the family's being logical and consistent. 100% this. Ironically, it feels like something that makes them feel unique and special, yet they try to take being unique away from them, like some weird accessory. Oh no, if they don't make them so identical, how will anyone know they have identical twin grandchildren? Isn't that such an interesting thing about them? Maybe they should try being interesting on their own.